We're going to start a small live stream, and I'm going to do some sharpening and then talk to you guys while I'm doing it. And it's my normal routine, so let's get going. I'm actually going to do a little cleanup at the shop and flip you guys around. We're going to wait for people to trickle in. I got some other stuff to do. So give me a little bit while you guys are hanging out, and I should have trying to get the laptop booted up as well so I can follow you guys and what you're saying. So bear with me here. Hey, good morning. Just getting set up. Trying to. I'm getting the chat set up on the other computer, which always takes a minute for some reason. And then I'm going to do some sharpening here. There we go. I see my own. There you go. I'm just loading up the thing so I can see the chat. And I'll turn down the volume. There we go. Tim, how you doing? See if I can make my chat bigger. There's got to be an easier way to do this, but for right now that'll work. So I can see my chat while I mount you up. There we go. And hang tight with me, guys. Here's my shop. Just give you a little shop tour while I'm doing it. Here's my office area. Kids. This is where it happens, guys. Okay. And then if I come over to my channel and it says I'm live, and I'm going to share. That's why I don't answer phone calls anymore, guys. They're all spam. Okay, and then I'll go out here. And switch to here. How's everybody doing? Going live on YouTube for a sharpening chat. Control V. There we go. And the problem with Facebook is, let's just make sure that that link worked. That link worked. And it does. And then you have to change your stupid profile back to your personal profile. And then I'll do the same thing now here, going live on YouTube. So you can't get the link until you're live. Good Lord. Okay. Sorry team. Sorry fam. Doing some sharpening and answering questions. Control C, Control V, and then you say next, and this is where you share it to groups, and you go boom, 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 boom. And you say done and post. All right, cool. We're actually happening here. We're actually. Ooh, 5 inches of snow. Sorry about that. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about here. In fact, while it's just a few of us here, this was sent to me, and I can already see what I'm going to do to it. I'm going to flip it, strip it, but it's variable speed, and it's not the little. What it is the little mini buffer. Very solid, actually not super noisy. I mean, way better than the Ken Onion Work Sharp right there. You add a little buffer in the wheel, so you could go edge trailing, bring up a burr, remove the burr. You could do a little edge leading angle guide, do a 1 or 2 step process, and of course then strop carefully. I'm just trying to get the spacing. I just literally took it out of the box. So first exciting thing that probably nobody will see unless they're here right now, which is cool. Second thing I'm working on, or not working on, is this stupid thing. For God's sakes. I mean, this is what a normal angle guide looks like. You clip it on, it's got an angle adjustment on the side, and you go to work. And if it's too far away from the belt, you just press it in, or you can grind out. We got a version 2.0 coming out on that, so that'll be happening. But this monkey deal, come on. Double thick, triple thick on the side. 1, 2, 3, triple thick on the side. Giant knob. It's just unnecessary. You know, this is like if the tire, and I get it, people on the Vevor need a, an angle guide solution. Well, I'll give you an angle guide solution that'll work with something that's lightweight, streamlined, and if the tire doesn't fit, you don't build a Humvee around the thing. I mean, there's a reason why Humvees, you don't see them, is because they don't fit on the road. And of course it needs a cutout, which is my design. That cutout is my design. I did it. I did it 8 years ago. And then what we tried to do is we tried to take the angle guides that were out there on the market, since there's already 100,000 of them on the market, and I offered this upgrade that allows you to not have to rebuy a whole new angle guide. You could just get our angle guide upgrade, or you can buy the whole guide. This is hot garbage. And as some people would do, let's just throw it in the garbage. There you go. Anybody telling you that that's a decent tool hasn't done a lot of sharpening. And so we got beginning of the day. Let me get you into position. Hopefully there's some wiggle around. So the first thing I always do when I come into the shop is clean up my shop. I got my bucket of water going. Just want to kind of clean it up. We got a whole bunch of work to do, so just sweeping it down. And I do have the dust extractor to install, but when I work, I like to have a clean workflow. Ellie, shop dog, what are you doing? What are you doing? Say hi to everybody. Hey, what are you doing? She heard me doing stuff. She got all excited. All right, so that's it. Just a little cleanup. Basically workbench prep. I do it every day. I grew up working in restaurants. And working in restaurants, when you come into the restaurant in the morning, the back of the house, the prep tables and everything are always cleaned, wiped down, they're ready to go. You're ready to go to work. And hopefully that makes sense for people. Sayon, you're very welcome. Yeah, everybody, thanks for joining. Hopefully we'll get some more people coming into chat. Looks like we got... That can't be right. We got 20 people or so hanging out. I see you guys right over here. So if you got anything you want to say, you want to chat about something, just let me know. All right, let's get going. First item up for bid and mystery item. We'll see what it is. So I can read chat. So while I'm sharpening, I'll actually try to read the question and the name. Wow, what a great starter one. And I'll zoom you in for this. Let me just set the things back down to the far end. And I'll quit wiggling everybody around. Calvin, hello. Virginia in the house. This is the weirdest time of year. I've been here in Hawaii for over 20 or 30 years now. And nothing says weird like November when it is absolutely, or December when it's snow and Santa Claus, and I'm running around in flip-flops and a tank top. I miss it. I like to go back for a Christmas vacation. North Carolina, love you guys. Actually trying to whip up some white sauce. South Carolina, when I was there, we went to a barbecue and they had a white sauce that I fell in love with for brisket. So this is the standard little light you get off of Amazon. We're going to start carrying it pretty soon. And this is another little light. Well, look at that. It's kind of cute. Oh, it just comes on when you touch it? What happens if you touch it again? It got brighter. What about if I touch it again? No way. It got even brighter. Let's go. So this is our new light. My shipment just came in, checking it for, it's way brighter. And so that is its first day on the job. Actually, first few minutes. You're the part of the reason why I wanted to get get everything going here was so that I could test out the new light with you guys on board. It actually has 2 magnets on the bottom to better hold it to surfaces, we hope. And then it's got the touch lighting. Off, 1, and you'll probably just find a level that you like, and then just leave it there, which is what we all normally do. Getting it into position. Ooh, I like that. Okay, this is maybe the coolest light I've ever had, and this will be posted up on the website here probably by the end of the day today. I'll send out announcements. So what we have here is a chip, and we have clad 3 layers Sanmai, and so obviously we have to thin this thing all the way down, right, and charge them $50. Well, if the profile is already thin, which it is, very thin, which is why it chipped, and there's enough of a cladding, what we can try to do is just remove enough material to get past that chip, and then we can see if it's going to be too thick at the apex or not. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Cubitron P120 belt. Your lighting won't show it, but that right there is actually where it's totally dead blunt because the light is reflecting off of it. But that angle shows to me right here. And give me a second here, guys. All right, cool. So what we have here, that was a customer that just came in, is we have a system where when I get done, I call or message them. And he just came in. Cool guy, friend of mine. Okay, back to action. Down. What you'll notice I'm doing is I'm skipping over that spot. Because if you go into that spot, you will make, I keep making a hollow. So listen to the belt. I lift off. And then I come back in, I come back down, I lift off. And I keep alternating the sides as well. Now you can also but I really caution this method because I am going to get it all wet. Because if you hold it too long, you can remove more material than you need to. So watch the little shadow. Get it wet. Spray bottles are really nice. Okay, ready? Here we go. There we go. I'm inspecting. All right, now we will, and hang with me guys, I can't read the chat while I got this, while I'm doing this part. Now I'll just go down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back. And we're apexed. And now I'm just running one clean swipe. I'm not pressing hard. Now I'm barely pressing at all. Could this be thinned? Absolutely. Did it break for a reason? It broke because it was thin. So I don't feel that that's too thick. I also feel that there's enough of a cladding line left. And so the angle that I sharpened at was about 16 degrees. Then I'm going to refine that edge. There are choices. You always got choices. And I could easily thin this knife, and I'm not doing it just because I have other work to do. But the fact that it broke in such a large chunk means why would I thin it back that thin again so it could break again? It's like thin ice. We're not even near the cladding. It doesn't feel like it's got a big ridge. We've removed the damage. As a bonus to the customer for this one, it's also going to be an affordable repair, because the minute you start thinning and regrinding, it goes from 15 to 20 to 30, 40, 50. And that's fine. I'm happy to do it for him. But I'm going to do the sharpening. And since it's a Japanese knife, I'm going to give it that little bit of a finer edge. It won't have as much bite to it. I got a goofy paper. Yeah, so, and there's our final result. Needle point tip. No recurve at the back, which is where it takes more of the impact, and that's why you see it flattening down oftentimes there. And again, if he wants me to do more, we can do more, but that is done and ready to go. And then I usually just take a little rubbing alcohol and we wipe that off with my towel that isn't here. All right, let's go get a towel and I'll check comments. Avocado knife, right, exactly. There's a good question from Calvin. He wants to know, when starting a business, what form do you suggest to develop Google, Facebook, websites, Yelp, Nextdoor. I would say number one's got to be Google, right? You want those Google reviews. Yelp is a ripoff, and I mean that in the worst sense of the world. They will not post your good reviews, claim it's their algorithm, and if you pay them money for a paid subscription for advertising, then they suddenly your reviews will show back up. So it's a total scam at this point. And they have full-time telemarketers that's their job, right? Is to try to get you to sign up for some sort of paid Yelp. If you look on my Yelp page, at some point you'll see I have 2/3 of my 5-star reviews are buried, and they're legit reviews. Well, let's take care of my buddy there since he came in. These trays are really nice. Let's give you a chance to see how different people live their lives as well, too. You know, some people swear by large kitchen knives, and this guy has got nothing but these tiny little paring knives, and I've been sharpening them for years, and so I'll show you a couple paring knife tricks. So cutout allows me to bring coming all the way in, and you still do have to lean up just a hair. It's no big deal. The belt is flat against the platen, and that means it's less likely to catch the knife. There you go. Perfect. Go all the way to the heel. Now I'm doing an edge bleeding process, and you guys, a lot of you will know why. It's quicker. It allows for very clean, consistent control. And the scratch pattern, since it's going into the blade, is more toothy. I'm going to take right here, and I'm just going to cut that little bit down. These are just little baby knives. These are like little, they're almost disposable Victorinox. We're just doing the least amount of grinding needed to reestablish the angle that's already there, because my angle guide is set. So when they bring them back, I put it right at the same angle. The bevel is the same bevel angle. And you're really reducing the amount of material that gets removed, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just thought I'd do a live stream today, you guys. It's been a while. I had a lot on my mind. You know, first and foremost, I am a sharpener, just like everybody else. I enjoy sharpening. This is what I do every day. And nothing has given me more pleasure in the last few years in coming out with products and cool things. And I'm going to keep doing that. And you understand that that is based on my years, 20 or 30 years of electromechanical repair experience, repairman experience. And the thing I always try to do in my own life is take something that's practical and affordable, and then if there's a way to make it better, make it better. This little 1x30, well, I think they're running $140 now, is an amazing tool for the money. I mean, they didn't have anything like this when I started out 10 years ago, which is why we added the DC motor. And I had a bunch of drive wheels. I bought them, and then I had a machinist true them up and so that they would fit the DC motor. And all of that it wasn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It was like so that there could be a machine available for us all to have and to use. And that developed over time. And then the Rikon came out, which is still just a killer machine. It's got the variable speed on it, but I hardly ever use it. You'll also notice I'm opting just to take that little tooth off the back end for Robert, my buddy. Running a little low on the emulsion. So I go squirt, squirt, tap, tap, and then I'll do that every 10 or 20 knives. Looks like I could use a better light over here. All right. So I know he's cutting fruits. I know he needs a bitey edge. So I'm not going to do the polishing step, right? I'm going dap, 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 dap. Now this is dragging on my thumbnail sharp, slice your finger sharp. These are those, again, those little cheap little Victorinox, but it'll slice. I am leaving the bite on there, and it's not a loose burr. We're talking about the tooth formation itself under the microscope. And I've got a couple videos that show that. I should probably do some more now that I've got a new microscope. I also have some very exciting news. I'm spilling all the beans here this morning. We have a whole bunch of new magnifying and microscopes coming. Handheld, USB, and so when I was learning how to sharpen and how to check your edge, you can use a best tester or you can inspect the edge yourself. The best tester just does the polished edge, right? And since I'm all on team toothy edge for slicing, because that's what most people do. Just rubbing them down with rubbing alcohol now. All right, he's done. Let me grab the next one. Woo. Big old Tojiro. Nice. Yeah, that's the 809. We sell a lot of the Tojiros. I'm a Tojiro. I've got a Tojiro dealer straight from Japan. I'm not a dealer, but I get, well, maybe I am. I don't know. This is the 809. This is the longer version. The 808 is the more common size. James, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure to share anything I can. Tim, for those, for that little group there, I mean, he's a longtime customer, but I don't charge. Usually I'll just add them all up. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8 is 56. I'll just call it $50 for him. I can't go 40. That would be too cheap, right? Because it's 7 knives. I'm not going to do $6 a knife. But I'll give him a decent price since he's a repeater, and then I'll round it down to a nice even number. This is about as easy as it gets right here, even though it's a long knife. I'm checking to see how much life I got on my Cubitron. It's about halfway worn through, which means I've got another 30, 40 knives on it, 20, 30. And there's no major damage. I'm just going to go down once, come back, and then I'm going to flip it over, try and get you guys at the right angle. Hopefully you can see that little white line along the top. That little white line means I've apexed. And once you see it and remove it on both sides, you stop. So why do you need a big machine? Why do you need a 2-inch machine? Why do you need a big monster machine grinding away all the steel when it's really just a tiny little bit of the apex that we're cleaning up and resharpening? A couple refinement steps. Quick stropping step. Still got a little bit of bite to it. Now I did hit on the leather too. That is a hair. I never say hair when you're talking about kitchen knives. That is sticking to the hairs. So I don't need to shave my whole arm off. It is literally sticking into the hair, and if I flick, it'll just fly off. So you don't even need to press into your arm. What I do need to do in very short order is finally get my stupid dust extraction hooked back up. I know I get ragged about it a lot. And honestly, you guys, I had full state-of-the-art dust extraction at the old shop, and when I got removed from that location unceremoniously, I kind of got bummed out. And so what I have is I have the full system in the other room, and I got to knock a hole in the wall, run the piping over, and plug it in. And what that will do is that will actually suck the dust away from the angle guide, because the angle guide, it's even with the slippery tape, and even with you having the angle guide at a more appropriate angle, guys that are sharpening back at this weird angle where they're almost setting the angle guide as a tabletop, and they're going edge leading so the knife is coming towards them, I would not recommend that. But I like to go edge leading. I like to have so where the knife is moving away from me, and the steeper the angle on the angle guide, the more the dust will fall off. It still will put little scuff marks sometimes on the blade. And so I'm just going to buff that off real quick with this wheel. And this knife is a work knife. You can see it's all scratched up and everything, but I just put a shiny on it. A lot of times I'll like to do a shine on the bottom half of the knife, kind of as a signature move. And what that does is then they can see, oh yeah, he did a bunch of cool stuff. And that way they feel like, yeah, they're going to be very happy with that. It's crazy sharp. You guys want to see really just, that's not the final, like you can make an edge more polished than that. But again, I'm trying to make it so it has a little bit of slice in it. All right, but let's just see what happens. Probably, oh, it's still standing. No way. Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, get the idea. That's push cutting phone book, freestanding phone book. I'm going to put it right back in there, lock it down. He's ready to go. Do a couple more small ones. Look, I got a whole bunch of work here today, guys. So keep your questions coming. I'll happy to answer them for you. Hey, Curry. It's O'Grogan's. Every sharpener has to find their own way through trial and error at what works best. Well, for sure. For sure, there's some things that, you know, there's lots of different options, and you'll find that I rarely say, like, this is the only way. But there's also people that are trying to reinvent the wheel, and sometimes I question their methods and their motives. You know, you have to remember that when I started, there wasn't anybody making YouTube videos. There was one guy, the patron saint of knives, and it was based on his information he was freely giving about belt sharpening that I used to teach myself and to learn and to study. And studying for 2, 3, 4 years every day, sleeping and breathing sharpening, and then starting to teach sharpening after observing things and observing a lot of things that aren't correct, like what is taught. And when you see it under a microscope, you go, oh, that is not what I was told the way things are. And then I tried to share that information. What I have at this point is I have a pretty streamlined system: edge leading, edge trailing, toothy edge, polished edge, removing burrs. There's multiple ways. And many people do a 14-step process. I was one of them. I had a video up about a 14-step process. Maybe it wasn't 14 steps. Little tip removal on this one. So I'm just going to show the way that works the best for me, and I can explain why it's the best for me. I just put the tip back on that while I was telling you that. Hey, be right there. One more second, I'll be right there. When I started, I couldn't even use the wheels because I couldn't hold the angle. It took me about 2 years to get that far. Hey, how you? Good, good, good. Just walking and talking. Got the lock.
It's two things.
It's all it is, two things. What we got? A couple here?
Yeah.
Want me to just knock them out real quick for you?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You still using the heck out of them?
Yeah. Trying to.
Deer, right? You're doing a lot of deer, right? You do a bunch of deer.
No.
Oh, not deer. Thought you were deer hunting. All right, let me get them done. Yeah, got a little electric short there. On the convex, bringing up the bevel down low. The reason why I went straight over to here is because I know this guy brings them in dull. So I'll bring up a burr on this step. A lot of these I've worked on before. This belt's not grinding super good, but sick too. It's not my first time playing with these guys. So what you can do is you can almost just call that a pre-step one. So it's a thinning grinding step to get them prepped. And now I can just go down and back with my fixed angle. Yeah, when you're used to whetstones, well, and of course, that one knife that's just a chunk of steel, to thin that out would have been like a 1 hour job, maybe. And I know whetstone guys are always worried about the heat damage, but the Cubitrons run cool when you're just doing stock removal on thinning the blade. Now I'm doing the final edge with just the lightest of touch. My thumb is resting on that belt. There's no heat buildup. So if there's no heat buildup, I'm just refining the apex like you do with a whetstone. Even the studies by Vladim and some of those guys, when they actually discuss how deep the heat damage goes and how critical it is, in severe cases, you're talking about removing the Rockwell hardness by a few, from like 62 to 58, and that's in the first few microns of the apex. But that is a different method. That is also not edge leading with belts that run cool at slower speeds. This is at high speed with high pressure. And still, the Rockwell hardness damage was just in the first microns. What I'm saying is I could actually cook the edge over there, remove the damage here, and then refine it here, and there is no softened steel left. But we're far, far away from that point of the discussion. Right? You like them bitey, yeah? You like them all bitey, slicey. Well, yeah. I don't know. We all sound like we know what we're talking about. Maybe I should put a little extra flair on the end, like a fancy little magician's little swoop when I'm working. Like the DJ that turns the knob without even, you know. You ever watch the DJ make music and they pretend like they're doing stuff, but they don't do something? They're not doing nothing. All right. Okay, we'll get these wiped up.
Oh man, I gotta get over there. We're not gonna get over there. Oh, shit.
Yes, here. Okay. For coming back to you. Okay, now you know the drill, man. They're all razor sharp now. 1, 2,
Hey,
3.
Going like this, I cut in something, then this what happened. I touch my hand there. Oh shit!
Yeah, I had a gal do that just the other day with her knife bag. She put the knives in, and then she tried to reach in, and she caught the back of her knuckle on one.
Yeah, that thing. Come on, Manuel. You gotta respect the knife.
Well, you forget that they're all sharp now. We do have the new knife sheaths too. We have so these are, you can put them on the knife like this.
Yeah.
And then they keep them from cutting anything. But
cutting myself.
Yeah, or cutting your bag up.
No, it's an old bag. Oh man, I don't know when I'm gonna get over there. Oh man, I'm suffering here. I'm suffering.
There you go. Well,
we've been kind of slow though.
Yeah, I heard everywhere's a little slow right now. Yeah, well, not us, but like all the restaurants that we talk to, we know the tourism's down a little bit right now. So.
Oh yeah.
$50, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Do cash or card. Don't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. My boss, he's going crazy. Trying to keep everybody together.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe this Christmas we'll start jumping up again. The whales are here. I'll get you some change.
Well, I'm gonna let he get 2 restaurants.
Which ones are his?
The one over and roasted chilies.
Oh yeah, those roasted 20, 40, 45, and 50. Do you need a receipt for him or?
No.
Okay.
This is mine.
Okay.
Uh,
Tell him he should reimburse you.
I do my own knife.
Yeah. No, yeah. He can kick you back a little bit.
Yeah, these Mexicans, as soon as they see my knife, they grab them.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, and then they start putting them on the whetstones?
No, they start using them and they throw them all around.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone's different. I had one restaurant over down the hatch in Lahaina, and I go sharpen everything razor sharp. And the first thing they do is they go take my knife and they go scrape it on a stone.
No,
Yeah, every time.
something wrong with
Yeah, well then the manager finally just took away their stone, so because they're good at cooking food, but they're not getting paid to.
I can see the guy's knife.
Yeah, that's right.
Chopping them on a stone, eh?
Yeah.
And I look at the knife, I say, this damn knife is all screwed up.
Sometimes I'm not going to say anything too bad about whetstones because a lot of guys use whetstones. I actually use whetstones. I know nobody believes it.
But you gotta know how to use it.
Yeah, you got to know how to use it and when to use it. 3000 grit nanny watt diamond, diamond plate. Yeah, you got to use them when you got.
And the bevel gotta be the same every time.
Yeah, that's the part that takes muscle memory. So one of the guys in my chat was talking about whetstones and muscle memory. Well, everything takes muscle memory.
Yeah.
There's no magic to muscle memory for whetstones holding an angle while you're moving, hitting the angle the correct on a wheel.
You see, what I think is
Yeah.
all the whetstones the guy do is okay. If they never meet you.
Well, right. There's always, I mean, there's some things that.
If they never meet you, then they won't.
They never met me. Well, that's true. That's people don't know what they don't know.
And then it's all right for them, man.
Which is part of what I'm trying to do with my, because I do a lot of videos. We record a lot of stuff, and we share these videos with other sharpeners to help teach them. And a lot of guys will say, hey, I get it better. I get it sharper just by scraping it on the bottom of my boot, kid. I had a guy tell me that, my knives are sharper than yours, and I just scrape them on the bottom of my boot. I'm like, well, you don't know what you don't know.
God bless you.
God bless you. Aloha. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey, we'll see you next time. Okay, bro. You too, man. Be safe. So I switched out to a Scotch spray belt. Super nice guy. That is old school Portuguese. Hawaiian Portuguese, man. Tough as nails. So this has got a bunch of corrosion on it. And I just put an older Scotch-Brite belt on my 2x42. So here's the deal. Flat surfaces like flat objects. If you take a flat object and you go onto a round surface, you end up with snail trails. Right? There. That's from experience. And so the way you can get rid of the snail trails is you can try to go back and forth. This is an 1.5 inch 240 grit wheel at a certain density that's not too hard, but it's also made with aluminum oxide, which is a better abrasive than silicon carbide. Now we have a full surface, and then if I want to, I can come back and give it a final uniform scratch over the whole thing, but this is working fine. So I'm making sure to get the whole surface. And a beat up old knife like this, oftentimes you know and I know that they're not going to take care of it, but I'm using this to demonstrate for you guys. So the point, the wheel has got a point, and that point will do really fixed damage removal or rust removal. I like to just go, I listen to the sound. See the deep scratches? We're not getting those out. We're just making it look nicer. All right, that's all we're gonna do. This one's got a patina coating on it. I'm not removing that patina coating. This is a little, let's just pretend it's not from where I think it is. But what I will do is I will use the Scotch-Brite wheel just to put an edge of an edge on there. Because I think it contrasts nicely with the rustic look of the original. All right. It's kind of action day. Let me go get a belt for this. This is for the 240 grit. We have another big shipment of belts coming in. The sale was really good. And I want a P80. That's a 2x42 P80. Most everything's in stock. We have P120s. So I need to upgrade my, update the website, which I'll do later this afternoon as soon as I get this sharpening work done. So there's a 240. Let's see what we got for questions. Calvin, the speed of the leather wheel is, we're at our slowest speed, yeah. Everything I run is pretty much at slow speed except for the monster over in the corner. And Buck Tool is sending me out a variable speed 2x42 to test. Drac, what is Dracopus saying here? Yeah, whetstones do take practice and muscle memory. I did start. So my starting out point was with the Wicked Edge, and very precise because my background is kind of scientific. So I enjoy the fixed angle guide, fixed angle rod systems, which is probably why I like the angle guides as well, because they allow you to get that precise angle. Okay, so we got a fresh P80. Kick this thing back on. Get a little variety here. And what I'm doing is I'm doing it on the slack. So I just did that curve. And then I'll do that. A little bit of a recurve, actually. There, you can actually see the burr come up, and then my muscles are naturally going to just swing that around. That's all you got to do. I will hit it one more time here and here, one more time there and there. We'll just walk this down, take it to the finish line. When you bring up a burr like that, and then this is just going to flip-flop that burr one more time, and this is where that muscle memory and angle matching is coming into play, especially on a wheel. And when you see the burr is completely gone to the visible eye, then I'll come over here probably the most important step, but it's the hardest one to teach. I had a guy email me the other day and he goes, "Oh my God, you're actually pressing in pretty hard." I am, and there's just a little bit of give. This is why I like the wheels that aren't rock hard. I'm pushing my luck. I'm going to try to do another one. Anytime you do a polished edge, the odds that it's going to push phone book paper are pretty good. This one is very thick. Yeah. Squished it. Yeah, it's got some slicey spots in it. Okay. Here's shaving. Let's go ahead and we'll try this one next. Same thing, low angle. If I hold it for three swipes on the blade, I'll definitely put it under some water. 1, 2, 3. Crazy thing is that's how fast that was able to apex it at a low angle. This is doing two things at once. It's satin polishing the edge and it's moving the burr back and forth. And then here's our, let me bring it down. Hopefully that will show for you guys. And usually it'll start coming off right about here. If the burr's not coming off, I'll slow down. And I'll give the wheel a chance to remove that material. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to press down harder at a deeper angle. Polished edges can routinely hit under 100 on the best tester. Depends on the steel. I'm running a 2x42, but any of the 2-inch wide belts. I don't know. All right, let's try it again. Again, no tricks or anything. There you go. Oh, I got a second slice out of it. How exciting. Okay, so there is no magic to this. Like the guy said earlier, yeah, learn yourself, do your thing. I'm just showing a 3-step process where you can get them that sharp that fast. And yeah, there's other ways, but I don't know of another way that works that fast. You bring up a burr, satin polish, remove the burr, do the final strop. So here's a close-up for you guys. Again, just ignore whatever that metal is. I'll go to the doctor later. But the bevel has been whetstone ground. It just has. You can see it's all over the place. The Hawaiian word for that is kapakai. And so it's been sharpened at a pretty low angle. Pretty uniform. But here's the difference, is because I'm going on an angle guide. And you see how I use my thumb to rotate around that tiny angle. Within just 2 swipes, 2.5 swipes, maybe 3 swipes. It's not going to show up. You've got angles that look like they came off of a wicked edge or any sort of other structured. I can take and I can adjust. If I don't want as much belly, I can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. and then blend it all together. You have complete control because you're working right here and your eyes are right in front of it, and you got your stable and your stability. This is the refinement step. This angle is set a half a degree out further to make sure that the apex of the knife hits the belt and we're not hitting the shoulder. So now we double check it. I don't have any multifaceting. Hunters like it just like that. And then I'll do a little more. And that'll give you a bitey, slicey edge that'll start to shave hair. That's like a razor blade. And any razor blade you've ever felt that sticks and drags into your thumbnail, but also wants to cut your finger open. And that's what I was going for on that piece. I'm not going to buff or polish the Damascus. Okay. Wow, we got a few more here. Let's swap out our belt. I know I've done at least 80. Okay. Everyone getting ready for Christmas? Oscar, yeah, I've done streams in the past, and then I kind of burn out on it. I really enjoy the back and forth. I enjoy the live audience and sharing stuff. And the questions are cool. I mean, I do a ton of videos, and the videos, you know, basically I'm just trying to keep myself. I've shared about everything I've sharpened 2 or 3 times at this point. We are going to be doing more in-depth videos. Like I plan to do an actual video on the difference between the angle guides and more machine tutorials in long format. When I get the new machine, we'll probably modify the new 2x42. I'll take you guys along with me. A lot of the content I do is the shortest, most compressed, informative, best way I've found. And I do 2 or 3 of those a day, or I was, and starting to get a little burnt out. So this is helping me to have you guys to hang out with. So I appreciate it. Red, I think we answered your question. Yeah, the 2x36 belts. They're bigger and wider. I'm going to go with the 2x42s. The Cubitrons last longer than anything for this level of pressure and this level of stock removal. The orange Norton, the Blaze belts, they can work, but you really got to be laying into the knife. They're meant for high speed and high pressure. And if you don't have high speed or high pressure, these little grit spots become just smoothed over speed bumps. Now see, this is halfway worn out, but yet it's still biting on my finger, like tearing it up. And the Norton Blaze, unless you're pressing really hard enough to fracture, and we just don't. And so this is what I call the Goldilocks zone, is the Cubitron 984Fs in any size they run 30% cooler and they last 30 or 40% longer or more. And they're designed for that level of pressure. And so they do. So what happens though is I end up using a P50, a P80. Those are my 2 go-tos, are the P50 and P80. If it's a lawnmower blade or something super gnarly, I'll go with a P36. But P50, P80, then I can jump from there right over here, give it a nice satin polish, and then move on. Or I can do some other steps in between. Like if you're thinning a knife, I can go from the P80 right to this 100 grit Trizac, and that's an amazing belt. That's the A160, is my new favorite belt. Guys, if you haven't tried it, I swear to God, you should try it. It does satin polishing and removes the scratches from the heavy duty stuff. And because it's got the uniform scratch pattern from the Trizact structured abrasive, it removes the scratches and leaves a satin polish. It's a low satin polish, but it's a uniform clean satin polish. It just looks sexy for quick steps. Okay, enough yappy. Sorry, guys. All right, then we got, looks like we got some medium grade single bevel or single Wusthoffs. I probably shouldn't throw that in the garbage there. I do want to completely pick it apart later. The live videos from the van were amazing. GTR 0. I feel like I'm grateful that I recorded those because I can go back and watch. Yeah, I was cooking. You know, there's no two ways about it. I was rocking and rolling. Customers coming up. Reminds me of that guy that you watch that could play the guitar with the harmonica. you know which one. He's sitting on the stool and he's tapping on the drums and playing the harmonica and singing a song, and it was fun. Yeah, that was some really good times. I did that commitment like every commitment I try and do. I did it for 4 years every Saturday, 5 a.m. And then we opened the shop downtown, and that was the beginning of the next phase. And now we're here at our beautiful shop. Some of you guys probably haven't even seen the shop. Our first shop was way even better. It had a perfect location. There's our Tajiros. There's some of your guys' packages. We're still getting caught up from Thanksgiving, and those are all going out. But we have a full retail showroom. You know, we got lots of different pocket knives. We even have a few Chris Reeves Sebenzas in here. We got Kikuichis. We usually have Shuns. And then over here we have more of our commercial kitchen. We have our commercial shears, Kai Pro. Kai 7000 series are probably the best scissors in the world. Some of them. We got our whole hair scissor section for the groomers and for the hairstylists, and then we have our commercial kitchen products. And we got cleaned out quite a little bit right at Christmas time. Ellie, come on. Ellie, what you doing? What you doing? Oh, I got it. Get it. Best shop dog ever. All right, let's get a little grinding going. Yeah, the ceramics, the red, and due to we carried them for a little bit. We are carrying, this isn't an infomercial, but we are carrying the red ceramics. This is our Pro Value ceramic. Which is the same as Mavericks, which is probably the same as or similar to every red label abrasive that you might find. It's a red ceramic belt. We have it. I'm trying to keep our price comparable to the other red ceramics on the market for people that are red ceramic guys, and then maybe they will take a risk at some point and try out the Cubitrons, And then they go, wow, this thing goes 3 times as long. But here's the kicker. These are the Pro Value, which is just the name I put on these, generic Trizact belts. So that's our Pro Value D30, which is the same as the A30. And I'll tell you what, it lasts almost as long as a Trizact A30. The pattern, the scratch pattern on it's a little different. You can see it. The structure is a little different, but they go, as my Hawaiian brothers would say, shoots, they go. Yeah, and so the basic thing that I eat, sleep, and breathe sharpening, and then I get up and I email, message, video, and sharpen. Down and back, down and back. Set it down. Ooh. Down and back. What I did there is just make sure that I got that perfect tip. So while I'm doing these, I'm also looking to see if the bolster's high, and it is. So I'll do a sharpening. And I'll do a sharpening. And then I can see the bolster's high. And then I'll drop it in. And then I'll round it over. You can do more. You can do this. And the more you fiddle with it, the more likely you are to hit that edge again. Make it look good. I like it to look, I like to have the back end all rounded and look nice. And now we have our rounded back end. Sorry guys, light is fighting with us here. There we go. Here's another one where the bolster's proud. And for sure, you can do your own way. Some guys will take and grind down the bolster first. Some guys will grind them down flat, which I've done that before. No harm. I think they look a little better when you round them a little bit. But I'm also using the top of that angle guide as a rest. What's cool is we came out with that training program a few months ago, a month ago now, and all of this was, everything I'm showing you now, kind of in this little sneak peek sort of thing, is covered in 4K video and chapter by chapter. How to work farmers markets, how to sharpen every different type of tool. And there's a forum, a community. And I think maybe the coolest part is that program is live, as in I'm adding to it and updating it. We're creating more content based on what students say they want to hear about, or what they need to hear about. Sorry, I'm trying to... This one's a little chewed up, man. So we're going to straighten it out by doing long, smooth strokes back and forth. Then we're going to take that heel. Look, somebody, look at it. I don't know if it'll show up or the camera will focus. It's ground all the way up into there, and it's ground up the sides, but like somebody scraped it. So I'll take and I'll go down one side and I'll come up the other. And now I've got a clean bolster. This knife's already got a big chunk missing out of it. I'm sure most of you guys have seen me do this kind of work before. Landon, I'll do some more do's and don'ts videos on videos. Yeah, it's been probably 3 or 4 years since I did the belt sander showdown video. I'd say I actually have a video out recently on this subject though, and that would be the Sharpening Equipment 101 video I did not too far back. And check that out, because a lot of the tools are Buck tools. I'm not sponsored by Buck Tool, but Buck Tool finally heard about me, and they said, hey, would you like to make some videos about our products? And I went, well, you're a little late. I'm already making videos about your products. And so they've decided that I would be a good spokesman for their tools. I'm not trying to get them to listen to my design ideas when I don't have any idea about design. I think their job is to make the equipment, but they don't know anything about angle guides, that's for sure. Because they're not doing this. They're not putting the knife on the angle guide. This cutout design was originally done by me about 8 years ago. I have a video where I discuss my modifications to the angle guide. Some other guys saw it and did it to theirs, which is the whole idea. And then recently I saw a guy that was giving the information to the whatever that monstrous angle guide. And so the Chinese angle guide company now has my modification that I probably should have patented. Might not be too late. But he's giving it to them. For whatever reason of his own. But I'll tell you the deal. This angle guide was designed by me and created by my son, as when I was teaching him about how to create products and how to do business ethically. You know, and you come up with you find a market need, and then you create something on your own. Then you prototype it, modify it, and demo it, and go into production, and then modify it again. And so where we're at right now is we are at phase, where are we at? Angle guides. So this is the product that was completely uniquely developed by me and my son. It has a huge cutout in it. This allows for bolsters to come into place. And what we're going to upgrade is this and this to allow it to fit a little bit more loosely and allow you to bring in the angle guide a little bit closer to the belt. That's all you need. You don't need a whole bunch of clamps and complex stuff for that. And then once we get that in place, then we'll figure out how to mount it to the Vivor to help people. Hey, brother. Good. What you got? Purchase kind? You looking to buy one?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what we got. I got a dog. Do you want to buy a dog? A little dog. Here's the Tajiro. That's the 808. That's the most popular Tajiro that we got. Looking for something bigger?
Same thing like this, but I want the
Single bevel?
I'll check out less.
Well, that's our best knife straight from Japan. That's the Tajiro 3-layer Sanmai construction VG10 core. If you go to most of the forums and ask them what the best bang for your buck, they'll tell you the Tajiro is. Here's a Kikuichi. They run 5 plus. You familiar with Kikuichi at all?
Oh yeah.
We need to restock, but that is our best Kikuichi that we got in stock right now. I can't remember the exact details on the steel. I could pull them up, but that is a top shelf Kikuichi.
Is this for the sushi knife or any kind?
It's a thin. Let me see them real quick. So it's because of the wah handle and the thin grind. Actually, it feels like it's got some decent steel behind it. You got your 3 layers, Sanmai construction, 67 laminated. You could use it for sushi, but usually the single bevel, the guys like single bevel for sushi. This could be for all types of chopping and things like that. It's probably the nicest knife on Maui right now. Huh?
That one.
You want that one? Okay, let me give you the custom touch. Let me touch it on the leather.
How much for this?
5. Holiday price, $475. I'll give you a little bit off. You know what else too? That is the I'll bring that over. See. So yeah, I mean you can hear from the sound. Yeah, that's butter. And then we'll give you the case for it.
How much for this one?
$150.
Yeah, this fine. And that's only for now.
Okay, and then the other ones we have a few left in stock. These are Tajiro. They're more of a small prep knife,
Yeah.
but it's a very thin one. I have one at home, and it's one of my favorite knives as well. So it's a Tajiro without the logo. Tajiro sent them to me after the fire, and so they run 100. But that's that same VG10 steel, made in Japan. Also kind of nice because nobody's gonna like see it and run off. But dude, good choice. Where you work?
I work at the Royal Line.
Okay. Dude. Well, and I'll tell you, I mean, straight up, that's the last Kikuichi I got right now. So,
Lucky then.
yeah, it's the way.
That's the line.
It is. And just in time. You giving yourself something nice for Christmas? Wait a minute. That's not the right. Yeah, that's not the right box. There we go. Get to We'll put it in a Tajiro box. Why? I feel like it should be here. Hang on, guys. Oh, maybe because it's our last one. Yeah, that's got to be why. It's because it's our last one. There we go. Sorry, my box is all. You gotta put it in a kitchen roll and stuff like that. Okay. And then we'll give you one of these too.
Okay.
And then this is the full paper on the Kikuichi. I'll give you that. Ooh. No, I can't get it open. Sorry, my box is all beat up.
As long as the nice it is.
The nice the one.
Yeah.
There, that way it's got the stealth box. Nobody will know. $475.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how come you're not on? Give me a second here. Give me a second here, guys.
My friend came in over this time. He went buy one Japanese knife too.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
I asked him where he got them. I will look good.
Yeah, we do a lot. In fact, we're like one of the big. I don't understand why. Okay, that's on. That's on. There we go. It's been a few days since I've been in. That's booting up, so. Gonna make some modifications to this, and then we'll be able to offer that. Okay. Loading. Better. Let's see if I got a better box than that. That's a nicer box. What do you think? Put it in the... No, it's just too short. Sorry, brother. All right, let's ring that up. 47500. Bam. There we go. Touch or tap right there. You caught me at the perfect time, too. I've been doing a live stream teaching guys how to do sharpening and stuff. I'm sorry. Okay, now the light came up. There she goes. That take care of it? I'll give you this box too, just so you can. Okay. Sorry, it's so ghetto. Okay. So I gave you the deal, bro. Okay. Aloha. Enjoy. All right, man. Very sorry, all my sharpening guys. Yeah, I know. You guys. I gave him 25 off the discount. Yeah, I wear flip-flops every day, you guys. Yeah. The kid's just going to take and put it in his thing. And it was the last one we got. And that's why it was discount price. Okay. But he got a $500 Kikuichi for $475. It might be even more online now. Which is good. I did feel bad that I didn't have the box. But also I got you guys strapped around my neck. And so I did what I could. I also gave him a free sheath. Big deal, but yeah, slipper. Where are we at? Satin finish versus mirror polish. Are we talking about on the face of the knife or on the edge of the knife? Is a good question. Truth in Metal, cool name. For the sides of the knife, satin polish all the way. Mirror polishing a knife is just one, it's almost impossible to get a perfect mirror polish. Here's a great example. Here's a mirrored, but the scratches start to show up almost before you get it home. And then the process of taking a knife that has been damaged or scratched and making it into a mirror polish takes a lot more time than people think it does. And that's for sure. Down and back, down and back. Yeah, at the other location before we had to move because the air conditioner died, I was going to set up the camera because we had all day. At one point, I even had like 5 or 6 people lined up in the store while I was sharpening, which is very cool. I think I added up the other day, in the last 10 years, I've done somewhere close to 200,000 knives, which adds up just over months. And yeah, I sharpen in slippers. If I drop a knife, I probably should, you know. The thing I'm more worried about is slipping with my fingers and having a knife hit a wheel. Well guys, it looks like I'm just about done, and the video's probably been long enough. And sorry that took so long to sell that knife to that guy. I can't predict what's going to happen, but I've got just a few more noisy things to do, and it looks like the battery on my thing is starting to squeal at me. Let's see. The screen just went dim on my phone, so that's probably a clue. But I wanted to, you know, talk to you guys while I'm doing some sharpening. I thought that would be fun and show you guys, you know, the same old techniques we do. I mean, you know, it's just sharpening. You're, some guys I put a lot into it, and at the end of the day, they're going to go out and they're going to use them, and they're going to get dull, and you're going to see them again. And that's part of the deal. There we go. Yeah, I'm wearing a tank top today too. My son's coming home from Cal Poly, so I'm here at the shop doing my thing. Phone's gonna die. Any of the questions a lot of people have about sharpening or how to use the products, we got the videos out on YouTube so that you can, you know, look up Scotch-Brite and you'll find 5 videos with me demonstrating Scotch-Brite and talking about Scotch-Brite. Dylan, if you got any other, yeah, I mean, the wheel and the belts, they operate differently. I kind of talked about that a little earlier today. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Hopefully this was a little bit of fun for somebody. I know it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me. I'm talking, I'm sharpening, I'm dealing with customers, I'm trying to answer questions, I'm trying to make it somewhat fun and entertaining. And, you know, and at the same time, yeah, keep it real. So that was an hour-and-a-half live video. Hopefully you guys, you know, I don't know if you learned anything because I'm showing the same stuff that I've already shown a lot, but yeah, you know, for guys that haven't seen it before, this is also with kind of that new setup. You kind of saw that little harness I'm carrying around. That is a little awkward to sharpen with, I'll be honest. It's not as easy to sharpen with as just wearing the glasses, but you're getting a high res. Hopefully it's in decent quality, and the audio quality should be pretty good too. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off here, and if I don't do another live video before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to everybody. Aloha, stay safe, stay out of trouble, or don't get caught. All right, you guys, I'll catch you next time. Aloha.